Welcome back. All right, so I'm going to do something a little different tonight. I haven't done this in a while. I'm going to make the preview video for tomorrow and post it to the channel tonight so that you guys can go through and say, hey, it's hockey all day? Yep. It's a Friday, but it's hockey all day. So Saturday's actually less games than Friday. So there's 14 games on Friday. And I don't know how many people actually have the day off work for this. If you have the day off work, kudos. There are people, though, that are going to be working. So we've got 7 games that are technically matinees. And then we've got 7 games that are night games. So I'm just going to have 3 boards, and all of them are going to get reviewed at the same time because there's overlap. There's no time where there's no hockey on. So starting off with 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, the Carolina Hurricanes in against Boston. This is the first of 3 meetings. They'll meet again on January 29th as well as March 26th. For Carolina, they are 10-6-4 on the season at this point. Svechnikov's been quite the story. 13 goals, 7 assists, 20 points. Jarvis, I think Jarvis is going to get things going. I believe in Seth Jarvis. 3 goals, 4 assists, 7 points. Those totals are too low. He's got to get it going. Boston 17-3 coming off that loss against Florida and going for a record of 12 straight wins at home to start the season. Bergeron, 9 goals, 9 assists, 18 points. Marchand, 6 goals, 10 assists, 16 points in 12 games. Keep in mind these teams met in the first round in last year's playoffs, and Carolina won that, so we'll see if Boston has that as some kind of a motivating factor for them going into this. Then we've got Calgary and Washington starting at 2 o'clock Eastern, so that's 11 a.m. Pacific. The first of 2 meetings, they'll meet again December 3rd. I also want to say this kind of sucks because I really wanted to watch the USA versus England. I may have to have that on my computer while I'm watching these games on TV because I really want to see what's going to happen in the World Cup tomorrow. USA and England. It's a rarity. So yeah, Calgary and Washington, can't get sidetracked. First of 2 meetings, again, they'll meet December 3rd in Calgary. So they're going to get to know each other pretty well over the next 10 days. For Calgary, they're 9-7-3 overall. Toffoli, 6 goals, 7 assists, 13 points, has been very good. Kadri, cooled off after a hot start, but still 8 goals, 7 assists, 15 points. It's not too shabby. On the Washington side, they're 8-10-3. They're coming off of a win, and they need to get on a bit of a streak here. Strome, 5 goals, 11 assists, 16 points. He had a great assist to set up the game winner last night. We'll see if he can do it again. Kuznetsov, 2 goals, 13 assists, 15 points. He's due for a couple of goals, isn't he? 2 o'clock Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific start between the Colorado Avalanche and the Nashville Predators. November 10th, Colorado won 5-2. This is the second of 4 meetings. They'll meet again December 17th and December 23rd. Colorado, 11-6-1 overall. McKinnon, 5 goals, 22 assists for 27 points. He leads the league in assists. He's not completely out of range when it comes to the overall leaders in points. Goals, a little bit low, but who cares? He's got 22 assists. Lehkonen, 6 goals, 10 assists, 16 points. Absolutely loving his existence right now in Colorado. It is a perfect fit for him. Nashville, 9-9-2 on the season. Forsberg, 7 goals, 12 assists, 19 points. Has been excellent this year. Duchesne, 5 goals, 10 assists, 15 points. Probably due for a goal or 2, but the point total's just fine. 2 o'clock Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific start as well between the Montreal Canadiens and the Chicago Blackhawks. An original 6 meeting, the first of 2. They'll meet again in Montreal on February 14th, so Valentine's Day. For Montreal, 10-9-1. And the sweetheart to a lot of Habs fans right now, well, it's the entire Suzuki line, including Kirby Dach, who has 4 goals to go with 13 assists for 17 points. And he's against his former teammates. We'll see if he gets a goal. Monahan, 5 goals, 7 assists, 12 points. He's been solid for Montreal as well. On the Chicago front, they're 6-10-3, and the 2 players that we talk about the most are Taves, 8 goals, 5 assists, 13 points. He looks like the old Jonathan Taves this year. And Kane, 3 goals, 12 assists for 15 points. Probably due for a goal himself. And so we're still waiting to see when they're going to go, where they're going to go, and what's going to happen. The biggest trick, of course, being the cap hit. 2 Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific start between Toronto and Minnesota. This is the first of 2 meetings. They'll meet again on February 24th. That one's in Toronto. Toronto's 11-5-5 on the season. Marner on a, 14-game point streak. 4 goals, 20 assists, 24 points for him. He's been excellent. Bunting, a little off of last year's totals at 4 goals and 6 assists. So, looking for a little more from Bunting. On the Minnesota front, they're 9-8-2 overall. Eriksson Ek, 6 goals, 8 assists for 14 points. Has been quite good, as has Zuccarello with 6 goals, 12 assists for 18 points. He's one of those players who seems to get better as he gets older. Then at 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific, we get the Ottawa Senators and the Anaheim Ducks. This is the first of 2 meetings. They'll meet again in Ottawa on December 12th, so not long from now. For these teams, both of them with records much worse than they would have envisioned before the season started. Ottawa's 6-12-1. Brady Tkachuk, 7 goals, 15 assists, 22 points. Has been very good. His production has dropped off lately, though. One notable, too, is Batherson at 5 goals, 9 assists, 14 points. He got off to a great start. He has cooled off lately. On the Anaheim side, 6-13-1 overall. McTavish, 3 goals, 7 assists, 10 points. He's had a more productive week than he'd had before. His season has been more productive lately than it was prior. There you go. That's better. Just get the words out of my mouth. Zegras, 8 goals, 19 assists. 8 goals, 9 assists, 17 points for Zegras. Getting ahead of myself. Maybe he'll get 10 assists tomorrow and then I'll be right. But Zegras has been very good because, of course, why would anybody be surprised? Then at 5:30 Eastern, 2:30 Pacific, we have the Battle of Pennsylvania. It's the first matchup between Pittsburgh and Philly, the first of 3. They meet again March 11th and April 2nd. This is an odd schedule for the NHL. It feels like your blood, feud, these rivalries. They only meet 3 times instead of 4 this year. Next year it'll be back to 4. So, Pittsburgh's 10-7-3 on the season. Malkin's been, of course, the center of attention lately, and rightfully so, with his 1,000th game and all that, and playing pretty well. 8 goals, 12 assists, 20 points. So point per game. And Sidney Crosby, just doing Crosby things. 10 goals, 17 assists for 27 points. He's playing very well for a player who's 35 or older. On the Philadelphia side, they're 7-8-5. The descent has begun. Hayes, 5 goals, 14 assists, 19 points. Has been quite good. On a team that doesn't score very well, the 19 points are impressive. Tippett, 6 goals, 4 assists, 10 points. I talk about Tippett a lot, and there's a reason. He is one of the more dangerous forwards for the Philadelphia Flyers. And then we get into the evening games. 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. So there's a 2.5-hour break between the start of this one and this one. There's going to be a lot of time where there's just one game on, maybe 2, maybe 3, but there's no point where I could just throw together a video of these 7. So I'm apologizing now. But yeah, Arizona in against Detroit. This one's starting at 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern. First of 2 meetings. They'll meet again January 17th at ASU for the Arizona Coyotes. Arizona's 7-9-2. They are staying in the hunt. Krause, 9 goals, 2 assists, 11 points for Lawson Krause. Keller with 7 goals, 12 assists, 19 points. Keller's been quite good, to the surprise of no one. On the Detroit side, they're 10-5-4. Perron with 6 goals, 10 assists, 16 points. Hronek has been scoring at a much better rate than he did a couple years ago. Remember when he couldn't get a goal? This year he's got 5 goals to go with 11 assists, 16 points. And that's only in 19 games. So Hronek's on pace for 20 goals this year. Sorry for the pause. I had to let Maple out because she wanted out. And then as soon as I opened the door, she looks at me like, well, I just wanted the door open. No, we can hear the dryer. Anyways, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific start between the Islanders and the Columbus Blue Jackets. These teams have met once already. The New York Islanders won that one 4-3 in overtime on November 12th. They have 2 more meetings coming, December 29th and March 24th. The Islanders 13-8, coming off of a 49 and then upgraded to 50 save shutout for Sorokin. Barzal, 2 goals, 21 assists, 23 points. Nelson, 9 goals, 11 assists, 20 points. It does feel like under Lane Lambert, there's been better production from the forwards than what we saw under Barry Trotz. On the Columbus side, 7-11-1. Goudreau, 7 goals, 11 assists, 18 points. He's on the verge of really getting it together on a more consistent basis and putting up some big point totals. He just hasn't quite got there yet. Jenner, 8 goals, 6 assists, 14 points for him. And honestly, one of the leaders on a Columbus team that's been underachieving thus far. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific start between the New Jersey Devils and the Buffalo Sabres. This is the first of 3 meetings. They'll meet again March 24th and April 11th. This one's a little tricky. So this has been a season of streaks. Huge, long streaks. So New Jersey's coming off a 13-game winning streak. Are they due for a losing streak then? Buffalo, on the other hand, came off their 8-game losing streak. They've won 2 in a row. Are they going to win their 3rd in a row? We shall see if they can control the shots. New Jersey, tons of shots and dangerous ones too. They're 16-4 on the season. Jesper Bratt, 8 goals, 16 assists, 24 points for him. And Dougie Hamilton has been sensational. 6 goals, 9 assists for 15 points. On the Buffalo side, they're 9-11 on the season. Dahlin, 8 goals, 13 assists, 21 points. Olofsson, 10 goals, 2 assists, 12 points. And of course, with Samuelsson back in the lineup, the record's been excellent. It's insane because he has no points, but that's not his game. His game is as a defensive defenseman. And I think it's not just Samuelsson being back in the lineup. I think it's that way everybody can be where they're supposed to be. And when he was out of the lineup, their defense, nobody was where they were supposed to be. So, yeah, I think it means the matchups and your pairings work much better. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific start between St. Louis and Tampa Bay. I'm wearing Tampa Bay because St. Louis has started a losing streak, so they're probably going to lose this one. And also Tampa Bay's playing pretty well. This is the first of 2 meetings. They'll meet again on January 14th. St. Louis is 10-9. They won 3. They lost 8. They won 7. Now they've lost 1. They can't just do anything once, so here we go. Thomas, 4 goals, 13 assists, 17 points for him on the season. Tarasenko, 4 goals, 9 assists, 13 points for him. The 4 goals for Tarasenko, far too low. So he's due for a couple. On the Tampa Bay side, they're 11, 7, and 1. Kucherov, 10 goals, 18 assists, 28 points, has been fantastic. And Nick Paul, 8 goals, 5 assists, 13 points. Nick Paul, after the trade from Ottawa, I didn't think he played as well in Tampa. But right now he's playing right now as well as he ever did in Ottawa, and he's getting more goals than I think I've ever seen him get. So nice to see him succeeding in Tampa Bay. Also at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, Seattle and Vegas. So Seattle in against Vegas in a matchup between teams 31 and 32 in National Hockey League. October 15th, Vegas won 5-2. It was a pretty one-sided game. I think Seattle's playing better hockey now than they were then, though. The 3rd and 4th meetings will be in April 11th and April 13th. So for Seattle, they're 11, 5, and 3. Very good record. And again, if you take them lightly, they will beat you. Beniers, 6 goals, 8 assists, 14 points. Really starting to come into that role as one of the leaders on this team. He's very young. You wouldn't know it by watching him play. Burakovsky, 5 goals, 13 assists for 18 points for him. On the Vegas side, they're 16, 4, and 1. Marchessault, 7 goals, 9 assists, 16 points. He's been there from the beginning for Vegas, and I think he's going to play the rest of his career there. And Eichel is on a tear. 11 goals, 15 assists, 26 points. He's on pace for 100 points this year. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets there, which is something that I'm pretty sure Vegas has never had a 100-point player. So, yeah, Eichel's living up to the hype thus far. Then at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific, the Dallas Stars at home against Winnipeg. So the same start time as Dallas's game last night. The difference being there are 10 games on before that one starts. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 starting at that time, and then there's 1 starting half an hour later, and that's the Dallas one, so I won't have any problem keeping track of that. This is their 3rd and final meeting. It's too bad. Dallas won the first meeting October 17th, 4-1. November 8th, Winnipeg won 5-1. This is the rubber match. For Winnipeg, they need to turn this around. 11, 6, and 1. Rough loss against Minnesota, and that was after the blown 3-goal lead against Carolina, which they salvaged in overtime, but really, there are some troubling signs with Winnipeg right now. Morrissey is not a troubling sign. 3 goals, 16 assists, 19 points, having the best season of his career. And Kyle Connor, 6 goals, 10 assists, 16 points. As was suspected, he has been producing just fine. Once he got that first goal, and forever, his goal production has gone back to normal. On the Dallas side, they're 12, 5, and 3. They lead the division. I'm as surprised as anyone. Pavelski, 9 goals, 13 assists, 22 points. Robertson's been fantastic. 16 goals, 15 assists, 31 points. He is an argument in favor of skipping training camp. So, and skipping practice, I guess. So Allen Iverson might have had something going on there. And then at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific, because of course there's a 7:30 start. The LA Kings in against San Jose. This is the first of 3 meetings. They'll meet again December 17th and January 11th. For LA, they're 11, 9, and 2 on the season. Velarde had a goal in the last game. We'll see if he gets another one. 11 goals to go with 5 assists for 16 points for Velarde. Danault, 6 goals, 9 assists for 15 points. Has been very good for LA yet again. It clearly agrees with him. On the San Jose front, they're 7, 12, and 3. Timo Meier, coming off a hat trick, now has 12 goals, 9 assists, 21 points. Remember 10 games ago when Meier was off to a cold start? Neither does he. Hurdle, 5 goals, 15 assists, 20 points. He's been part of this pretty solid offense from San Jose. The trick's been keeping the puck out of their own net. So we'll see if they get that figured out tomorrow against LA, a team that's capable of putting the puck in the net. So let me know your winners in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And yep, I'm going to be pre-recording at least a couple of videos to post to the channel tomorrow. And of course, there'll probably be a news video tomorrow as well. And yeah, so enjoy the day of hockey. If you have tomorrow off and you want to watch hockey games, you have your choice. It is a smorgasbord. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.